This morning. Sorry, just using my glasses as an Alice band. Ooh. How are we all? How are we? Been gone a couple of days, just recharging the batteries. Contrary to what some people have thought, not well, struggling, but not in a deathly way, but in a struggly way. How are we all? Morning, guys. Morning, Gillian Barras, Margaret O'Brien, Jenny Scam, Mika Mack, Lynn Cullen, Ashley. How are you? Thank you. Thank you, guys. Sky, hello. Thank you so much for all your lovely messages. Thank you. They were much appreciated. And I do, they come from friends. And, I really appreciate that. And I felt very kind of cared for. So thank you very much. Ness Butler, Riley, Gilly Bryan, Ashley Rose, my God, you've made a live. Yes, morning Ellen, Shelley Riddler, Heather Cromack, Kim Lawrence. So who else, how is everyone feeling? Who else is anyone struggling with their ments? I know it's easy to attach it all to January or sort of seasonal stuff, but it's not only that, is it? I think we all have biological, psychological dips, highs and lows. I mean, even, I think quite a few of you know that I've been diagnosed with bipolar and all that stuff. But contrary to popular opinion, even when you're on the right meds, it doesn't prevent all dips and it doesn't prevent all highs. Obviously, when the highs come in, it's great. It's great, but obviously the payback is you get the lows. I've noticed on a sort of rhythm now that they're, rather than them happening, I don't know, within the week many, but then every other week a severe one. It's happening probably once every 4 weeks. So yeah. Let's have a look at how you're all feeling. Julie N, my mentals have got worse over the last few years. I hope you find a positive recovery, Mark. Well, yeah, I'm in the process of it generally all the time. I mean, I don't talk about it all the time on the channel, but I will probably do when I'm sort of fully out of this funk. I'll probably do a mental health chat. Sky, what did you? Sorry, I just saw Sky go up there. Where were you? I am a bit difficult week. Yeah, I think although I've just said it's not always seasonal, I think there is a sort of capitulation that kind of kicks out, a sort of sag that can kind of kick in. I mean, for example, yesterday I had to do a presentation and a tutorial about an essay and all that kind of stuff. And that just completely floored me. So there was the best intentions to do what the hell's it called? Wine o'clock. But it was just too exhausted. Zivil Sikter, hope you're well. Michelle Porter, thank you very much. Oh God, you're in bed with COVID. Yeah, my granddaughter, age 7, has COVID, been very sick all week, says Tracy Lynham. Sonia Donovan, I notice when I get a high, later I get a big low, back to CBT treatment. Yeah, absolutely, I'm back in talking therapy. Melanie Williams, I have bipolar. I had a full-blown manic episode and all medication around Christmas time and was put into hospital. Thankfully, I'd finished my full university year before then. Wow, Melanie, are you type 1? I mean, that's tricky. I mean, what I find is that it just takes me inward, and then you have that sort of just a darkness where you just, it's like you want to get into a sort of pit of tar, or you feel like you're in a pit of tar. I think someone used the phrase treacle. It is like treacle. It's like you're moving through treacle, you're thinking through treacle, you're relating to others through treacle. Treacle? Yeah, through treacle, that's hard to say. Treacly feelings are tricky. Tricky treacle tremors. And actually, it was Nads who said at the crack of dawn this morning, about 6 o'clock, we were getting Kiki ready for school and what have you. Well, Kiki was getting ready for school. She said, why don't you try a live today? Because you get a lot of comfort from it. And I do. So thank you, Gabrielle. Russ, Yes, Ross, I do have a few people. Thank you very much. But I do find real sustenance from a lot of the comments that I get online. Sophie R. Mark, I've had social anxiety, ADHD, and bipolar for as long as I can remember. And at appointment with a psychologist last week, they mentioned a potential autism diagnosis. Have you ever been tested? Well, it's funny you should say that. We were doing and this isn't one of those sort of, Psychologies magazine tests. We were given one of those online tests by an actual therapist, and within it, obviously we were all testing for bipolar. I'm not going to compromise other people's results. But yeah, autism for me was, I think out of 30, I scored something like 17 or 18, which led me to think, oh, maybe I should go further, Sophie asked. So it's interesting you should ask that. Sarah Perlmutter, hello. Just to say, I know there's been a pause with members' cards and signed photos. They are all going to happen. There's just, it requires just a bit of attention and concentration to get them all out to you lovely guys. That's for the family members, by the way. And there is, I believe, a members live happening later today. Thank you, Sky. No, absolutely. I'm not entirely sure whether there'll be a weekly rushes and all that kind of stuff. Menki Moo, Ments is hard. I have been suffering with anxiety and phobias for a long time. My CBT therapist says when you nurture anxiety and phobias all your life, it's not an easy ship to turn around. Yeah, it's habit forming, isn't it? And CBT is all about how you can intercept those habits, or how you can, remove the habit of negative thinking. I think a lot of people become addicted to the serotonin highs and lows. So the lurching, and I don't mean that means you've got a choice in it. I think just physiologically and mentally, you're used to going to these places. So I think that's one aspect. Then there's the kind of biological aspect that the brain, bipolar is on the epileptic spectrum. And so that sort of fizzing of the brain and that sort of disassociation, all that kind of stuff, that's issues. I haven't actually had that in the last couple of days. I've just felt very, 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 very down. So, Melanie Williams just became type 1 from type 2 within 1.5 years after diagnosis at 19. Fortunately, I have a great psychiatric team. Yeah, I have a new psychiatrist who I'm going to be seeing in a week or two. Very hard to find people at the moment. But diagnosis at 19, it's interesting. They do say that if you can catch it as early as possible, bipolar can be diagnosed within very, very young people, with a very young age. I'm bipolar Mel W. It took me 3 years to sort out the meds, but much better now. There is hope. Exactly, yeah. I mean, my doctor is happy with the meds that I'm on. He sees all of this in terms of it being a marathon, not a sprint. A marathon, not a sprint. And I think that's the case. So I think, these setbacks or these little kind of pushbacks, become less frequent, I hope. Russ, try and surround yourself with the things you enjoy for now. Your mental state needs time to adjust to the way you're feeling. You will be back to yourself before you know. Oh, bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Susan. Linda, yeah, no, I have. As I was saying, the frequency of these dips are far less. But anyway, that's enough about that. But again, thank you so much for all your comments. Yes, Mel W, it really is a marathon, isn't it? It really is. First vlog of the year landed, which was I was pleased about. Scheduled that for last night. Hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of, I realised in retrospect, I hadn't seen it. I cut it a few days ago. There's quite a bit of philosophical chat, wasn't there? Especially the end bit. I'd forgotten about that whole dysmorphic body image. It came out of the face and body tuning apps. What did you take from that, guys? I noticed it kind of really struck a chord for quite a few people. Self-esteem issues, the origins of these kind of the origins of these kind of self-esteem and self-body image and all that kind of stuff. Anita O'Reilly, important to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, mate, thank you, Susan Cooper. Basted chicken. God, do you remember that? I need to do something like that. I need to cook something as a surprise, don't I? But it needs to be, I want to oil the chicken again, for sure. Yeah, and I think if it's really interesting, isn't it? If everyone just charts back, Caesar, you related, have dysmorphia pretty bad, mainly due to low self-esteem. And it's funny, exactly, you know, if you chart back to when you were young or when you were a child, it's interesting where you find it. It's intriguing where you find it. I mean, it was a throwaway comment in there, but I said, when I asked, do you think maybe I was anorexic as a child? And then I said, no, that can't have been. I binge ate. I mean, binging, you know, compulsive binging is a thing. And I did. I used to just eat. I mean, I seem to remember, and I don't know if Mum, if you're watching this or if you watch this in retrospect, I think I would eat like almost an entire box of crisps, you know, box bought from the cash and carry in the space of just a couple of days. You know, so the negative voice inside your head, again, CBT can help with that. CBT can help, you know, help try and unpick the rhythm and the negative thinking. One of the techniques, here's one of the techniques I use a lot, you know, or I've inherited a bit from CBT, is in your head almost creating a court of law, so that when you have a negative thought, you list your negative thoughts about something and then you go to proof. You look for the proof and then you go through the positive points. And what you find is that there's often not proof or hard and fast proof for some of those negative projected feelings. Obviously, that doesn't mean negative things don't happen to people. And it doesn't mean that there aren't occasions when negative feelings are right. It's just that sometimes we can be compulsive in our negative thinking. And when that's the case, you know, CBT can really help get in there. It can sort of short circuit stuff. So disordered eating is classed as a mental health condition. Mika Mack, absolutely, absolutely. Time by Jay Shetty is a good tool to implement, Mark. Thank you, Reese. T for thankfulness, gratitude, whereby you jot down what you're grateful for. I for inspiration, M for medication, E for exercise. Yeah, exercise, you can't underestimate how much exercise is important. And gratitude lists is something that they encouraged us to do in rehab. And it is a great way, it's a great way of flicking yourself towards the positive, really is. I'm even going for decaf coffee. Hey, tra-la-la, I hope it goes well with Jack. I hope you have a good trip. Bon voyage and all of that. What's it like getting through an airport? Is it still headachy or is it all okay? Julie N, the iPad situation has put me on a downer this week. It's currently being sent back to the company I bought the iPad. Oh God, that's frustrating, isn't it? My husband grew up poor and became a sugar addict, Minky Moo, as he never got dessert, so he seeks comfort in it now. Yeah, I remember on one occasion being at home, and Mum, I don't know if you remember this as well, if you're watching. I would spoon, there'd be occasions where I'd spoon butter into my mouth for comfort. Caesar, airports are still bedlam, are they? Oh, that's a horrendous thing. I'm just going to take my coat off. I'll tell you what I am doing. I'm going hot and cold. My body thermometer is up the creek, I tell you. I'm a menopausal man. So, has anyone seen this news story that landed this morning saying that the Met Police have asked Sue Gray, and for those of you who are not from the UK, Sue Gray is conducting the report into the Boris, our Prime Minister's party attendance, and whether he broke the law, whether he needs to resign, whether he knew there were parties, whether he was ambushed by cake. I've never been ambushed by cake. I think that's kind of like an ambition or a dream, don't you think? To be ambushed by cake. To the point that one of the government ministers today, this is a funny quote, I just want to read this to you. Northern Ireland Minister Conor Burns said, what did he say? I'm told under some authority, indeed from him, that there actually wasn't cake. I must be the first government minister in history who stands accused of cakeism without an actual cake, he added. I mean, we're only in Britain. It's like Mr. Bean, isn't it? Ambushed by a cake. So anyway, so Sue Gray's doing this report. We're waiting for the report. It's due to land any minute now. Everyone's expectant. And then the Met Police say don't put anything that's in any way significant in it because we're also investigating, which in a sense rescues Boris and delays the time, doesn't it, for this to come out. So the Met Police have asked Sue Gray to make minimal reference to number 10 parties under investigation. What's the point of the report? It was a report into parties, and the police have said don't report on parties. It begs the question. There's the word filibustering in politics, which is kind of talking and talking and talking, just ad infinitum, just to lose time to stop certain legislation going through. I can't actually believe that this has happened, and then it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder whether there was a sort of potential self-interest in the police investigating. Do you know what I mean? I mean, what do you think, guys? What do you think specifically about the police investigating? Hey? What do you think? I'm not entirely sure. What do you think? She can't report on the more serious events they are investigating, which suggests that some are less serious. Well, all we're going to get are the less serious ones. That is some bullshit, says Reese. The whole thing is getting boring and stupid now. Just get to the point and get me out. See, Theresa Dunn, you're absolutely right. But that's kind of what they're hoping for, isn't it? That's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for us to get bored so that they can just sort of move on. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised that they're waiting for Russia to invade the Ukraine. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. This is an absolute shambles, says Gabrielle, and it's so embarrassing for our country that we have Boris for a Prime Minister. Just ridiculous. So that story has broken today. I wanted to ask you all, what's your favourite fizzy drink? Do you have a favourite fizzy drink? Because we could be out of CO2 again and you might not be able to drink it. Can you believe it? Coke all day, Courtney Richardson. I'm a big fan of the old Diet Cokes. I have to confess, if I'm Coke Zero, what's the difference between Coke Zero and Diet Coke? I can never tell. Cherry Coke, Gabrielle. Good Ship Lollipop. Prosecco. Yeah, you can include alcoholic drinks. I used to love I mean, it's not exactly a fizzy drink, but though it was a little bit fizzy. My favourite kind of can of beer used to be a Boddington's. Do they still do Boddington's? Bitter Lemon, Melly Mel. Diet Coke, Nanny Bluebell. I used to like Diet Coke, but like TC, I like Pepsi Max and Emma Carter. Hi, Emma. Pepsi Max. A lot of you, Dandelion and Burdock, Irene Gregory. I always like the sound of that. Can't drink fizzy because of my Crohn's disease. Oh, HW, sorry about that. Dr. Pepper, Kirsty Jane. What about Iron Brew? Does anyone like Iron Brew? Orangina, Mel W. Oh, Iron Brew, there we go. Raspberry Mojito Girl. Lilt, Anita O'Reilly. Do they still make Lilt? Lilt with the totally tropical taste. Boddington adverts were great. Was that the one with Melanie Sykes? Is that her name? I'm in Scotland. Iron Brew, Courtney Richardson. Boost. Ooh. Does anyone drink those energy drinks? I mean, I used to drink Red Bull Light a lot. I mean, I used to work with an editor who was an ex-heroin addict. I kid you not. And he was worried about my diet Iron Brew addiction. Monsters, Kirsty Jane. Don't like chemical sweetener. Lemon squash or Diet Coke, says Emma Ann. What fizzy drinks, Karen Oliver, do you like in Australia? Michelle, my girl. Both have no sugar or calorie. Zero is meant to mirror the original. Diet is made to have a lighter flavour. Does anyone else notice that Pepsi Max is sweeter than Diet Coke? Kavita Man, I used to drink about 5 cans of Red Bull a day. Wow. Ginger beer, Shadow My Life, ginger beer. I'm a big fan of the old ginger beer. And I have to say, there's a particular brand, which is it? I think it's Tesco's own brand, is so hot and fiery. I like a fiery, what's it called? Ginger beer. Yeah, so CO2 could be about to run out. So they may, I don't know if you remember, this happened, I just took you off. We had a sort of a spike, didn't we, of CO2. Oh, we're all going to lose CO2. What are we going to do? And now we have we need a long-term solution. They had a short-term solution, and now we need a long-term solution. So plain mineral water in Perth. I mean, nanny die. Fizzy water. Mum, how would you cope without fizzy water? Does anyone know if the amount of caffeine in a Diet Coke is equivalent to a coffee? I mean, this caffeine-free coffee, I'm not really tasting the difference, if I'm honest. But I know it removes the pickup. But we wore Tizer. I have a bit of history with Tizer bottles. When I was much younger, I was into a band called Cameo. Do you remember Cameo? And the lead singer would go on stage with a huge red codpiece. I used to love their songs, Candy, Word Up, all that sort of stuff. She's Strange. Do you remember when the bottoms of plastic bottles were glued on? Not like these molded bottoms now which stand up, but they used to have like a plastic cup on the bottom, and if you tried really hard, you could pull it off. Well, I pulled it off, attached it to my crutch with string, and proceeded to dance in it. I must have been about 14, 15 in order to entertain my then girlfriend. And I couldn't take it off. It was stuck on me. I put it on so tight. I must have tightened the string. So I was, yeah, I spent an evening with a red Tizer bottle cup attached to my crutch, which is, yeah, curious image, isn't it? Oh, and that's right. I also had tights on because I was going for the full thing, doing Word Up and dancing to Candy. You can imagine the panic, Caesar, absolutely. Yeah, it's an image. It's an image. Maybe I should recreate it at some point. They don't have the bottoms of Tizer bottles anymore. What were those bottles called? Do you remember the adverts with the fizzy bubbles? What were Corona? Was it Corona? I think it was Corona. And my nan used to put the bottles out and, you know, they'd take them away. Corona pop bottles that you would get the deposit back again for returning them. That's absolutely right. Coke floats with a scoop of vanilla ice cream in. I remember a friend of mine doing that for me, Edwin Selby. I remember him doing that for me. And as he dropped the ice cream into the lemonade, I was looking at him like this going, what are you doing? And it was like the most exotic thing I'd ever come across. Bearing in mind, you know, Mum, again, I'll keep talking to my mother in case she's watching this. I mean, most fruit that came into our house in a tin. So the idea that you drop some ice cream into some lemonade. Wow, Fanta with ice cream, yum. I like it when you go to places like Five Guys, or when you're in America, you get such a vast range, don't you? You get like Diet Coke Cherry Vanilla. You get Dr. Pepper, raspberry, something or other. Don't forget the evaporated milk. Oh, evaporated milk, what a lovely, 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 what a lovely, lovely thing that was. I felt the same about Coke floats, so exotic. I miss the 1980s, says Minky Moo. We love our sugar in America. Yeah, I know you do. Naughty, naughty. Okay, so that's fizzy drinks. And the other story that kind of snagged my interest was University of Chester. The University of Chester, I didn't know what there was a University of Chester. University of Chester has put trigger warnings on books. And those books include Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, and Northern Lights. And it's the English department has put out an alert for its Approaches to Literature module, which requires freshers to read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. A trigger warning appears underneath 3 books, both Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, and The Northern Lights. The warning appears at the bottom of an online handbook And it says, although we are studying a selection of young adult texts on this module, the nature of the theories we apply to them can lead to some difficult conversations about gender, race, sexuality, class, and identity. These topics will be treated objectively, critically, and most crucially with respect. You know, and I think part of this is obviously as a backlash against J.K. Rowling and her transgender comments. We're not going to open that can of worms, but you know, I'll leave that to you. I mean, I'm incredibly cautious about cancelling people for opinions. I know there's a body of thought that feels that what she said about menstruation was unforgivable. But again, I suppose my thinking on this is that if you're at university, and if you're not at university, we can all form our own opinions, and we don't need to be sort of have our hands held, do we? I mean, I think part of being a human is, as long as there's no violence or hate or prejudice, you know, expressed or damage, that you have a discussion and you can certainly read those 3 books and not be offended. That's my feeling on it, is not being offended. Surely being offended is a little bit, Caesar, I mean, Hemingway was a misogynistic alcoholic. Does he need a trigger warning too? I mean, if you actually went through history and started to unpack the political opinions or the behaviour of a great many artists, musicians, and what have you, we'd be cancelling absolutely everyone. I think sometimes you just have to say, that ain't for me, I totally disagree with you, so I'm ignoring you. But you don't necessarily need to cancel. Offence is taken, not given. Who said that? That was an interesting point. Pink Lady. I think if they, Ava Greenall, I think if they want to put a trigger warning on the books, let them. Don't be hurt over it. Just move on with your day. Well, there is that argument. As much as you can be offended by, as much as one's saying don't be offended by the books, you could say don't be offended by the trigger warning. Fair point. Fair point. I suppose it's just, what does it, is it symptomatic of a sort of, I don't know. You see, I think it, at a low level, is involved with the censorship of ideas. And that's, I suppose, that's why I feel it's something that can't be ignored totally, especially in a seat of learning where the whole point of going to university is about being challenged by opinions and viewpoints and ideas and ideologies that are different to yours. That's what it's about. Anyway, that was a story that I think is one you can have a think about. Pop your comments underneath this when it's uploaded. It's always interesting. So, who wants quiz of the week? We haven't done this for a while. Who wants quiz of the week? Should we do it? I think we're still waiting for someone to get 7 out of 7, aren't we? Is that true? Is that right? Write 7 if you've ever got 7 out of 7. Just write 7 if you've ever got 7 out of 7. Or write the highest amount you've ever got. What's the highest amount you've ever got? I know there's a lot of 5s. There might be, I think there's a couple of 6s. Nearly Russ, Tracy Lynham, yes. Sarah Fox, bet I'll get about 2. Ellen Jane, you got 7. Russ, 6 out of 7. Mika Max, 6. Kirsty Jane, 4. Sarah Fox, 6. Caesar, 6. Anne Tilhonen, 5. Skyly, 6 out of 7. Oh, I thought you were saying 7 there. Teresa Dunn, 0. Don't worry. We'll get you to 1. Mel W, 5. Emma Carter, 5. Karen Oliver, 4. Okay, so all to play for. All to play for. The East End Boy, 0. Not played before. Okay, so 7 questions. I trust you to be honest. You let me know at the end how many they got. Today's the day for 7. Okay, so question number 1. The World Wildlife Fund, I already feel like I'm not going to get this. I already feel like I'm not going to get this. The World Wildlife Fund has published a list of 224 newly discovered species from the Greater Mekong region, including the big-headed frog that there's a picture of here. But what is not one of their new discoveries? I hate the way they do this. They do a double negative almost. Which of these is not a new discovery? A newt with a racing stripe down its back. That's the kind of newt I want to be. A white-tailed sea eagle. Or a monkey with ghostly white circles around its eyes. Which of those wasn't discovered? So do A, B, or C. Loch Ness Monster, Nicola Higgins. Joker. Ashley Rose says 2, the eagle. Oh, a number of you saying eagle. No, Margaret O'Brien saying monkey with ghostly eyes. C. Oh, there's quite a few B's, quite a few C's. 1A. So which of these wasn't found? The monkey. It'd be fascinating if a monkey was found, wouldn't it? That's quite a big discovery. White-tailed sea eagle. Okay, I think roughly most of you are saying B. You're right. A white-tailed sea eagle. A white-tailed sea eagle. Well, there we go. Next. Question 2. Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket is due to crash into the moon, where it's likely to form an artificial crater. But what was the aim of the launch of the rocket? Has he just fired a rocket at the moon just to hit it? Okay, so what was the aim of Elon Musk's... oh, look, lots of you got that one. Woohoo! Okay, so one in the bag. Was the SpaceX rocket fired up to launch a space weather satellite, to observe an unknown spinning object in the Milky Way, or to tip a dangerous asteroid off course? Which was his rocket intended? Just for a laugh, Jan. Yeah, probably not to crash, Nicola Higgins. So launch a space weather satellite, observe an unknown spinning object, or tip a dangerous asteroid. A lot of you are saying C. I thought it was NASA that were going to do that, but yeah. Oh no, a lot of you are saying A. It's between A and C at the moment. Which way are we going to go? Lots of A's coming through, lots of C's there. Oh, double A, C, 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 C. I think we're just leaning ever so slightly towards it. Or Kimberly Jones says B. A. Oh, lots of A's suddenly. Okay. Oh, a lot of A's. Okay, the A's have it at the moment. To launch a space weather satellite. You're right. Whoever said A is right. To launch a space weather satellite. Well done. So, next one. Who's got 2 out of 2? Right, two if you've got 2 out of 2. Yay, Maria G. C, sorry, Claire Smiley. The East End boy, yes, you got 2. Your first go and you got 2. Oh yeah, look, lots of you. Kimberly Jones, nope. Okay, don't worry. There's always time now. There's quite a few with 2 out of 2. Great. Question 3. How did rock legend Meatloaf, who died this week sadly at 74, get his nickname? It was his favourite food. His father said he was red as meat at birth. It was used in a jean advert he liked. The last one is so random. Sorry, the middle one is so random. You kind of feel it has to be that. It was his favourite food. His father said he was red as meat at birth. It was used in a jeans advert he liked. I've got C. What have we got here? B. Most of you. Oh, lots of you saying his father. His father gave him the name. Some of you saying A. It was his favourite food. Jeans advert, says Russ. I know what you mean. I was sort of tugged towards that one. Oh, there's going to be a few people going down with this one. What are we saying? Vast majority of you are saying just about B. His father was a monster, apparently. Yes, it was his father. It was his father. That was question 3. That was question 3. Did anyone else hear that there's a rumour that China asked Putin not to invade Ukraine until after the Winter Olympics? Can you imagine that phone call? Excuse me, Vladimir. Yes. Would you mind not invading Ukraine? We're putting on the Winter Olympics, you see, and it's going to get in the way. It's going to cause all sorts of havoc. It's going to cause, traffic jams. It's just a nightmare. Would you mind waiting? Yes, of course I can. As long as we win 45 golds. This is good. Lots of you getting 3? Okay, question 4. Which of these is not being done for the Winter Olympics? That's why I was saying it. Which of these is not being done? It's that negative again, for the Winter Olympics. A forest has been relocated. 100% artificial snow is being used. Spectators can only travel on carbon neutral flights. Which of those is not happening? Which means probably that the other 2 are happening. So which of those is not happening? A forest is being relocated. 100% artificial snow is being used, or spectators can only travel on carbon neutral flights. I can't believe the Winter Olympics would occur on 100% artificial snow, do you? Oh, a lot of you saying C. A lot of you saying C. Spectators can only travel on carbon neutral flights. Wow, by China, one of the biggest polluters on the planet. Oh, you're all very confident. Caroline Ibbotson, you're incredibly confident there. You're right. Wowzers, gabowzers. So a forest has been relocated. Oh, hang on. Oh, I see what you mean. Not being done. Sorry, I got it the wrong way around. It's the negative thing. So the answer is C. They're not doing that, but they are using 100% artificial snow. Artificial snow is being used because the city has only had a few days of snow in recent years. Wow. Hang on a minute. Oh, right. Okay. The construction of ski runs required removing and rehoming more than 20,000 trees. Anyway, it was C, or 3. Look, who's got 4 out of 4? Liz Skinner? Anyone got 4 out of 4? 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4. Any 4? Oh, and Tilhonen. 4 out of 4. Lots of 3 out of 4s. That's good. That's good. 1 out of 4. Sophie Simpson. Julie M. 4. Okay, question 5. What escaped from a Travelodge hotel sparking a search and rescue operation? A wallaby? A robot vacuum cleaner? A 72-year-old toaster? Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think toasters run away, do they? I don't think a toaster could escape. A wallaby could, but would it be... I don't think wallabies stay in Travelodges. I think they stay in Premier Inns. A robot vacuum cleaner. Lots of you saying robot vacuum cleaner. Sky Elise, Joanne Roby, Fiona Cromack. Everyone's going for B. Everyone is going for B. And you're absolutely right. It didn't stop at the front door as it should have, and it was found the following day under a hedge. Apparently it had befriended a hedgehog, and they were considering moving to the Canary Islands. That bit isn't true. So B, who's got 5 out of 5? 3 out of 5, Sky. Anna Charalambus, 3. It's funny how excited and competitive we get over a quiz. It is, isn't it, Reece? 4 out of 5, 3. Julie Neary. Anne Tilhonen, 5. Julie Kennedy, 5. Wow. You're doing well, guys. You're doing well. Okay, next. Question 6. Which of these is not... Oh, God. Which of these is not a perk used to promote train travel in the UK? Free bacon rolls, access to a mindfulness app, a ban on all tannoy announcements. Which of these is not a perk being used to promote train travel? Free bacon rolls, access to a mindfulness app, a ban on all tannoy announcements. I think it's kind of obvious, this one. I hope it is. I'm saying, well, let's see what you say. A, free bacon rolls. Oh, okay. Do you think they would be stopping all tannoy announcements? I think that would be, wouldn't that be sort of health and safety a problem? Some of you saying access to a mindfulness app. Don't forget, this is what they're not doing. Okay. Vast majority of you are saying, well, no, you're not. You're saying B, A. It's a ban on all tannoy announcements. C. Okay, it's the big question now. Has anyone got 6 out of 6? Has anyone got 6 out of 6? 5 out of 6, Deborah Tideswell. 4, Rebecca W4. Anne Tilhonen, 6. God, you're Liz Skinner, 6. Becky Hicks, 6. Julie Kennedy, 6. Wow, we could be pushing for 7 for quite a few people here. Okay, final question. Who did Blur and Gorillaz frontman Damon Albarn say he preferred to Taylor Swift, having accused the US singer of not writing her own music? So who did Damon Albarn say he preferred to Taylor Swift when he accused her of not writing her own music? Billie Eilish, Adele, why did I say it like that? Adele, or Liam Gallagher? Which of those? Billie Eilish, Adele, or Liam Gallagher? Which one did Damon Albarn say he preferred to Taylor Swift? Quite a few A's. Billie Eilish, a couple of B's coming in. Adele, yeah. A C there, Caroline. Liam Gallagher, Kimberly Jones, C. I mean, whoever he says he prefers, he's kind of damning in the same breath, isn't he? Quite a few B's, quite a few A's. Billie Eilish, oh, suddenly a load of C's. Oh, we're split 3 ways here. Who do I think it is? I think it's Adele. I'm saying B. No, it's Billie Eilish. So if you said A, you won. Anyone got 7 out of 7? Thank you, Debbie Moorcroft, thank you. Did anyone here get 7 out of 7? Be honest, because if you're cheating, you're only cheating yourself. Liz Skinner. Well done, Liz Skinner got 7 out of 7. Julie M, 7. Julie Kennedy, 7. Well done, everyone. Well done if you got any, and well done if you didn't get any, you just had a go. It's all about taking part. 6, I got 2, Claire, that's good. 3 is the magic number. 5, Leslie Colpin. 1 out of 7, brain fart day. I'm sorry, your name. Does 7 out of 7 wrong count? It's only me. Julie Kennedy, well done, 7 out of 7. Oh, well done, guys. That was nice. And thank you for entertaining me. And I hope it's been vaguely distracting for you tuning in. Lots of love. Go and check out the vlog. It's landed below on the channel yesterday. Obviously, there's Confessions of a Modern Parent, which has landed on Monday. That's all about, do your teens no longer talk to you? And should you worry about it? And how do you get them to talk to you? So have a lovely day. And as I say, for all the family guests, there will be a members live happening later and a chance to win cards. Bye, guys.